know what I'm saying? Unless you just a dog ass nigga or a dog ass bitch. Would you open your mouth and attach it to a dog? Be something on this bitch that indicates there's a bitch in your life. Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the Just Jada Pod, where we talk about all things womanhood, motherhood, and a little bit of what's going on in the hood as well. Make sure you get cozy and comfortable and get ready to tune into your midweek pick-me-up. Hey y'all! I know it's been like a week. Y'all miss me. I'm so sorry. Life has been crunk over here, okay? Life has been crunk over here. But everything is going to be okay. God is in control. He is with us. And that's all I'm going to say. How are y'all? I'm doing great. I'm doing good. Y'all want to know what's just crazy? There's another death in my family. And I just feel like that is the most craziest thing ever. It's literally only May of 2026. There has been, my brother passed away in February, and then my uncle just passed away. And I mean like my uncle, like my mom's brother, they both have the same mom and they have the same dad. So he's like my uncle. Like he passed away and last week. So that's why the episode didn't drop last week, because I was just, comforting my mom. Me and my uncle, we weren't close. I love them for sure. I love all of my family members. We weren't close, but I was just so concerned about my mom. Because my mom, she just lost her son and now she just lost her brother. And I just feel for her, girl, because I know how it feels to lose a brother, okay? I know how it feels to lose a brother, so it's just like, I don't know how I feel to lose a son. So it's just like, I know she was just battling heartbreak after heartbreak, so I was just trying to be there for her to the best of my ability, so I didn't really have the mental space and capacity to record and drop last week. But bitch, we are back. But that is just crazy as fuck, because what's going on? Whoever got our family voodoo doll, please let it go. We surrender, we give up. Let it go. And they say death comes in threes. I really just hope that's not the case this time, because there's not a lot that a bitch can take, okay? Give a bitch a break, okay? Give a bitch a break, okay? I am going through it, and I am pushing through it to the best of my ability. You just don't go add and tacking on shit, okay? You just don't go add and tacking on shit. I'm stressed out. We're going to get through it. God is good. Love you guys. And hey, welcome back to another week. And let's just jump into it. All right, for our first segment of today, we're going to do Just a Girl segment, where we talk about all things womanhood and, girlhood, womanhood, girl power, things like that. So I've been seeing this topic a long time, and I just want to tap into it. And it's the topic on, should babies come first before marriage, or should marriage come first before you start having kids? We know the biblical way is you should get married first before you even have sex. But we know y'all ain't doing that. We know nobody's doing that. So we're not gonna talk about like the biblical way of things. We know what the right way to do it is. But we want to talk about like the logical way. Like, does it make sense to have a person's kids first or marry them first? I feel like, not should have a kids first or marriage first. Oh, well, yeah, like, do you feel like having babies with someone is a bigger commitment than marriage? I feel like having babies with someone is a bigger commitment than marriage. I literally, really do. And that comes from a married person. And I say this because I feel like you're not supposed to divorce, but if the marriage is not working, you can pack up your shit and you can go. If your marriage isn't working, you can divorce. You can move on with your life. You don't have to be tied to this person. You don't even have to speak to this person ever again in your fucking life. But if you have a baby with them, you have to be in constant communication with them. And I don't like when people say, like, after 18, your child 18, you don't have to deal with them no more. I just feel like you do. If something was to happen to you guys' child, y'all have to communicate. Y'all can't not, why wouldn't you want to be able to communicate to the person that you share a child with? So it's just like, I don't feel like that's a logical reasoning. And then 18 years is a long time to just be dealing with somebody and be like hostile with somebody or be aggravated and mad with somebody. So it's just like, babies is a bigger fucking commitment. You can't just leave the baby. You know what I'm saying? Men do it all the time. They leave the baby. They don't fuck with the baby because of the mama, this and that. That's because they raggedy. But I just feel like a man with a head on their shoulders, a man that's not stupid, wouldn't you can't just do that. You can't just leave your baby high and dry. Kids are forever. Kids are forever. They're not going anywhere until they leave this earth. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like you have to be in some form of communication. When your kid get married, you gotta talk. You gotta see your baby mama, your baby daddy. So it's just like y'all just gonna be mad, face booted up at the motherfucking wedding. No, it don't make no fucking sense. I feel like the only for people that'll be like they feel like wives are bigger commitments than kids, or the men that like want to cheat. That's just how I feel. I feel like because you feel like being married is just such this huge commitment, because in a marriage you have to be faithful. In a marriage you only have to talk to one. You only are able to talk to one person. That's a big commitment. Yes, it's a big commitment, but how could you say it's bigger than having a child with them, sharing a child with them? That's the men that don't take care of their fucking children, or the men that cheat. The men that aren't actively in their children's life, doing shit with their children on a day-to-day basis, going to their children's sporting events, going to their children's graduations and ceremonies and things, field days and shit like that. That's the men that thinks like that. The men who think that, marriage is a bigger commitment. Because how do you not feel like having a child is this huge commitment? When you have a child, everything that you do, everything that you that you are is that child. So that is a huge commitment. You have to change a lot about yourself. You have to change the way you move, to change the way you talk, to change the things you do, change the way you speak, to serve this child, to serve this other human being. You got to do it with the spouse as well. But it's like with your child, you are that. That's you. You know what I'm saying? So that's a bigger commitment. And I feel like staying faithful and not cheating is not fucking hard, bitch. That's not such a hard of a commitment as a child. That's easy. That's cakewalk when it comes to taking care of and being there for a child. Being there and taking care of a child is hard work. It can be hard work. Being faithful and staying committed to one person, bitch, that's easy. Just do it. You know what I'm saying? Just fucking do it. It's just do it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I don't get it. I don't get it when people say marriage is. I put down when you're living with a spouse, you have to agree to disagree. You got to live with this person 24/7. Yes, you got to be committed. You have to compromise on things. You have to look at the bigger picture. You can't be stubborn. You have to learn to agree to disagree. You have to be monogamous with one person. It's like give and take. You're giving and you're taking. And I feel like that's what men are scared of. That's the big commitment part of marriage that they're afraid of, that they are not able to do all of that and just be with one woman. But with kids, you have to take care of them, make sure they're safe. You have to feed them. You have to clothe them. You have to bathe them. You have to go to all of their sporting events. Make sure you're there for them mentally, physically. You have to pour a lot into your kids. When you come home, when you get off of work, you can't just go lay up and be with your husband. No, you have to take care of your fucking kids. And then you can go lay up and be with your husband. So the kids are always a factor. You can't go to sleep and eat a bowl of cereal and go to sleep. No, you have to feed these kids and nurture these kids. Make sure these kids are doing their homework when they get home. Make sure these kids are up to their grades. You have to do a lot when it comes to a kid. You can't just half-ass and bullshit. So I just feel like kids are just like a bigger commitment. I just feel like, baby, the way that I mom is why I feel like kids are a bigger commitment. I don't half-ass it. And I don't half-ass it with Michael either, but it's just like with my kids, I feel like a lot of more energy has to go in to taking care of them and being there for them than it does with Michael. That's how I feel. Like I have to pour a little bit more, because they're little kids, they're little, they're innocent, they're small. It's not really a lot that they can do for themselves. So it's just like, that's the biggest commitment. Bitch, it ain't nothing to get married and fucking be faithful and be one person. You know what I'm saying? Unless you just a dog-ass nigga. Or a dog-ass bitch. All right, you guys, so now we're going to go into our Just a Mom segment where we talk about all things motherhood. And for this topic, I want to talk on the topic of yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, because this has been a conversation in my home. So I'm like, let's bring it to the pod and see what the girls say. So with Kinsley, if Kinsley doesn't say yes ma'am or no ma'am to me, I don't see a problem with it. Let's just put it out there. I don't see a problem with it. I'm not mad at her for not saying it. I'm not like yes, no, yes ma'am. Like, no, I'm not like that. Yes, it's fine for me. Like, yes, it's fine for me and it doesn't bother me. No, it's fine for me and it doesn't bother me. Except for when I'm mad. When I'm mad and I'm getting on your butt, I feel like yes does not suffice. I feel like yes ma'am suffices because I need you to add a little bit of respect on it and let me know that you understand that I'm your mom and you respect me and I'm not going for it. But on like a regular day, if I'm telling her like go clean up your room and she'll be like, okay, I'm not gonna be mad if she don't say yes ma'am. Or Kinsley, are you hungry? No. I'm not gonna be mad if she's gonna be like, I'm not gonna be mad if she doesn't say no ma'am. Like, I just feel like that doesn't, it's not as a big of a respect factor that it was back in the day. Because, you know, with our parents, we had to say yes ma'am, no ma'am, like all the time. So I feel like it's not as much of a factor as it was back in the day, back in my time. I don't find it as being disrespectful, but I do sometimes find it to be like a little bit like annoying, like if we're talking to my grandmother or my mom, and well, my mom kind of got used to Kinsley now. But my grandmother, like, if she don't be saying like yes ma'am or no ma'am to her, because you know my grandmama, she old, you know what I'm saying? She about 70 something. She's 70 something. So I feel like yes, when you're talking to other people. So we did have to have the conversation with Kinsley, like, okay, when you're talking to grandma, when you're talking to Nana, or when you're talking to Gigi, you need to be saying yes ma'am and no ma'am. But it's kind of hard for her to like get back on the track of that when she's so comfortable at home with saying yes and no. Michael, he wants her to say no sir and yes sir to her, but I just don't. It don't bother me. Like, are y'all the same way? Like, it just don't bother me. It just don't bother me. Like, I only feel like I require it when she's responding to correction, or when she's responding to correction, or when she's talking to older people. I don't feel like it's necessary. But I do feel like we've started implementing it in the house more, because it kind of just builds character and it builds a respectful, character out of her. Like, because you don't want her to just, because she's so comfortable with saying at home, like, so chill and so laxed at home, when she's out in the public and she's with she sees an older woman or older man and she's talking to them, she don't show them a sign of respect by saying yes ma'am and no ma'am, because older people, they take that kind of stuff serious. So we had to, I think it's just like communicating with your daughter or your child. It's cool to be a little relaxed at home, but when we out in the public, show some kind of respect. When we with our family and when we with your grandmama and your papa and them, show some respect by saying yes ma'am and no ma'am. Because Kinsley get a little bit too lax, okay? She get a little bit too lax, so it's kind of like I had to kind of like tell her to start saying it to kind of like instill it in her. But do I feel like it's a necessity? I don't. What y'all think? Are y'all making y'all's kids say yes ma'am and no ma'am? Or what's y'all take on it? I feel like it's not that deep. I don't know. I just feel like it's just not that deep. I'm not forcing it. It's fine. But if I'm telling you, do you hear what I'm saying? Or do you understand what I'm saying? And you say yes. No, say yes ma'am. Say yes ma'am. So I don't know. Maybe I'm kind of iffy, girl. I don't know. Do I want it or do I not? All right, you guys. So now we're going to tap into our next segment, which is our Just Saw This segment, where we talk about things that we just saw online and we want to tap in. Did y'all see that fucking man bites that dog? Girl, cue the video.
Hold it. Watch out. Hold it. Get him. Get him. Get him. Get him.
Who biting?
Quit fighting. Quit fighting. Quit fighting. Let go of my dog. 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 Stop fighting.
Dog got beef.
Stop fighting.
Thing about it, First of all, if you bite a dog, you crazy as fuck. Because why would you open your mouth and attach it to a dog? Why would you bite a dog? That is just crazy. I ain't fucking with nobody that bite a dog because I'm scared of you. I am genuinely, honestly terrified of you. Why would you bite a dog? Why the fuck would you bite a dog? But why would that police hold that man's leg out and tell the dog to get him? In the video, you hear him say, get him, get him. First of all, it's already 4 or 5 of y'all motherfuckers on this one man. Why do y'all need the dog to come in and bite him? Like, that didn't make any sense to me. Like, I'm just looking at the video, I'm just like, what was the purpose of it? Y'all saying, get him, bitch, y'all got him. It's literally 5 of y'all on this man. Why did you go get the dog? So, the dog deserved to get bit. Don't bite me, bitch. And you see all these fucking people already on me. Why are you biting me? Why are you biting me? He's talking about, let go of my dog. Stop biting my dog, bitch. Your dog need to let go of me. Your dog needs to let go of me. Why is your dog fucking biting me? It's already 5 of y'all motherfuckers on me already. Y'all got me. Yeah, he was fighting back. The man was fighting back. But I just feel like 5 police to 1 man, y'all didn't need a dog. Y'all didn't need a dog. Yes, he was fighting back. He was resisting. He was doing all the things. But I just feel like 5 to 1 and a dog, that's crazy. Y'all didn't need that motherfucking dog. All right, you guys, so now we're going to talk into our Just My Perspective segment where we talk about the things that you guys send us online, scenarios, questions that y'all send us online, and we just tap into it and give our perspective on it. Y'all didn't send me none this week, which is fine. I'm going to go into my box and I'm going to pick a scenario. I'm just going to pick the first one off the top, and I read it a little bit. Okay, so my camera died if I'm a little off-centered or whatnot. But we back. We're going to read this again. If your partner posts everything but you, are they private or hiding something? I don't know. My husband, he does not have social media, thank you, God. But if he was to have social media and he posted everything but me on his social media, I don't know how I would feel. Like, you're not going to post me on your story a little bit or nothing, let the bitches know who I am? Or, because bitches don't give a fuck about you having a man. They don't give a fuck about you having a man. They don't give a fuck about you having a husband. They don't give a fuck about nothing. So your page just look like you real single-ish. Your page giving single daddy with 2 kids because everything but me. So you posting the kids. You're posting everything but me. So your page is giving... single father of 2 with no kids. I don't know how I would feel about that. Not that I need validation from social media, but it's just like, what are you giving? What are you out here portraying to the world? It's like, what? You ain't got like not one family picture of me. You ain't got like one little boomerang of me, like nothing. Like, no, my hand ain't in that motherfucker. My ear ain't in that motherfucker. Nothing. You don't post me on your stories or nothing. I don't know. I think I probably would feel a type of way. I wouldn't think I wouldn't think that he's like hiding me. What I think he's hiding me? Is it hiding? Would I think he's hiding me? I don't think that it's necessarily I would feel like he's hiding me, but I would feel like he's just... What you got? I guess that is hiding. I would feel like he's hiding me. How are you just private when it comes to me? Like, how are you just private when it comes to me? Like, are you going to be private when it comes to, like, your family? Okay, you don't want to post me. Don't post the motherfucking kids either. Don't post your grandmama. Don't post your mama. Don't post none of them because you're private when it comes to family. How are you just going to be private when it just come to me? I don't know how I would feel about that. I probably wouldn't like that. That's why I'm so glad that Michael does not have social media because... what you got going and who you feeling like to where you feel like you shouldn't be put a sample of none of me, put my glasses on there, put my bracelet on there, my ring on there, my finger on there, my eye on there, my ear on there, something on there that indicates you got a bitch. You need something on this bitch that indicates there's a bitch in your life. Cause this motherfucking shit look a little too single for me. Some shit need to be known, okay? Some shit need to be known. It don't need to give single fucking black father on here with 2 kids that's doing the best he can and that's raising his kids, give them a lovely life, and there's no bitch involved. It shouldn't give that. It should be a little something, a little sprinkle, a little piece of me on here or something, bitch. So yeah, I think I would feel away. I would feel like he's hiding me. I would feel like he's hiding me, and I don't think that. No, you ain't got to be that motherfucking prideful. Like I said, it's a little something on here needs to scream, there's a bitch that lives with me. There's a bitch in my life, and you bitches need to back up. Because these bitches don't give a fuck. These bitches don't give no fuck. They could be like, I ain't see that you had a woman on your page. I ain't got no indication of a woman. That'd be bitches' excuses. Ho, find you something safe to do. Hey, you guys, so that's going to be it for today's episode. Make sure you guys don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to follow us on Apple and Spotify podcasts, where we drop the audios every morning and the visuals drop at 6 p.m. on YouTube every single Wednesday. Make sure you guys go follow all of our social medias. It's the Just Jadapod on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Peace.